Hello everyone, I am Doodlemans86 and today I am going to review the King of the Monsters Godzilla Pre-Evolved, or Godzilla Re-Evolved as he's been called, made by Hiya Toys for their Exquisite Basic series. This is Godzilla's appearance before he evolves, but also before he is energized, serving as our current vanilla Godzilla for this design. With the energized and evolved figures coming out soon, let's see if this guy is worth picking up. Taking a look at the box here, it is pretty big, and as you can see we have a beautiful picture of Godzilla. It looks so awesome, it looks really nice. You got all the pinks and blues and purples. You have some lightning, Godzilla, the new Empire. Here's the top, the sides, very nice. And on the back we have a whole picture of the figure, which looks pretty cool. We have some information here on the side, and here we have the bottom, and yeah, lovely and colorful box. I like the look, it looks very nice. So that's the box, let's get to the figure. So taking a look at the sculpt and paint, it is basically the same figure we have gotten in the past. Only difference is the paint. I know I said it before, but this does really look like a mini Prime 1 Studios figure, just articulated, because that's how good he looks. So it being the same sculpt, you do get the same detailing, the same proportions, but there was no issue with that because I really like how he looked. The paint, I mean, with the past figures, or at least with the King of the Monsters one that I have, it was just black and peach. The Godzilla vs. Kong one was like gray with some very white or light tans, but this guy blends several black, grays, and tans of previous figures into one, and it does give him a really good look. I really like how he looks. So, taking a look at the sculpt on the head, it looks fantastic as always, very small. You can see the teeth are there. They're painted, which looks awesome. And so is the mouth, the tongue, well, spoilers, but it can move. And it has detailing. Look at his beautiful orange eyes. They look very nice. So tiny, but so lovely. And as you can see, as I was saying before, the figure underneath is like peaches and oranges. On top, he's got like a gray, almost black. And then he has like some gray dry brushing. As you can see here on the armor plating, it's like orangish, but in some other spots it's tan. And it does give him my favorite look of the Godzillas that I have. And even in the dark, like here in the light, you can even see the crevices. They're very highlighted with this release. Like here on the chest, all the lines you can see, all the shadows. It's extremely apparent here, and I do like that because it gives him like that skeletal look, especially with the gray dry brushing. It gives him a nice look. He's got browns but grays on top of the chest, which looks lovely. He has all his scales and proper armor plating. All the spikes look fantastic. As you can see, the big beefy arms and legs here look nice. The nails are black, which I am fine with. That looks pretty good. You can see the inside here is more brownish with some peaches here, which look awesome. And as always, I just love the detail here. It just looks so good, so nice. And the spines, as always, look phenomenal. They have the detailed patterns of the Monsterverse Godzilla while having the webbing in between. The spikes look amazing. It looks very nice. And as you can see, I didn't get any warp spines, which thank God. It does look very nice. The tail is also just as lovely. Look at the painting, the detailing. The dry brushing really brings out all the details, which is what I love about this particular release. Looks very nice. Of the vanilla Godzillas, I think this one is definitely my favorite. Only problem with this guy is that you can tell that it's kind of like a painted while assembled thing, especially here on the tail. But that is fine because he does look fantastic. He is easily the nicest looking Godzilla, and he just looks marvelous. He looks like he did in the new Empire. The articulation is the same, song and dance, so I'll quickly go over it. So for the jaw here, we have a hinge, opens and closes. The tongue can also move, as you can see. The head is on a ball joint, as is the base of the neck. And then we have these three little rubbery pieces, as you can see, very rubbery. So you can look up pretty far, which does look nice. You can create the King of the Monsters pose. And then down, not so much, but you will get help from this articulation piece right here, which we will get into in a moment. The shoulder is on a ball joint, absolutely lovely. And speaking of which, the articulation, you do kind of have to get a blow dryer and heat up the joints. And on previous releases, I had to do it a few times, but with this guy, I didn't even have to do it. He moves nice right out of the box, which is what I love. So I wanted to point that out because I think that's pretty important. We have a swivel hinge here for the elbows and a ball joint wrist. And As I was saying here, for the waist, we have a ball joint, possibly the tightest one on the body, but it does get some nice movement going on there. Look at that. So he can look up pretty far up now and then pretty far down. So that will help you get this guy to look down pretty far. The hips are also on a ball joint. We have a nice spread. The knees are on the double hinge, but they are ball joints. You can see some slight movement there. For the calf, we have a slight swivel, but they are also on a ball joint. The ankle is on a ball joint too. And then the tail from the base to the tip is on a ball joint. You can get some nice poses. You can get the S pose. So that's pretty good. So I do want to point out that this guy has the similar soft plastic as the Versus Kong version, the version 2. This does have my favorite articulation of the 3 figures that I own. He is very posable, very fun to play with. He gets all the poses down nicely, and I just think he's lovely. Great articulation. So for price, he can go from $50 to $60. He is available on Amazon, eBay, Big Bad Toy Store, all those other sites. I'm not sure if he's still available on Big Bad Toy Store, so I'm not sure. I don't remember. I think he's out of stock though. And I got mine for $51 on Amazon, so pretty lovely. So these figures are more so in the 7-inch scale, as you can see. He is a pretty tall boy, basically the same height as the other figures. So again, if you have any of those guys, same thing going on here. So we'll do a size comparison, and I'll do a comparison with the other Hiya Godzillas. But like I said before, I love the Monsterverse Hiya Godzilla because he's kind of like that perfect height. He's a little bigger than Kong, but still smaller than Mecha Godzilla. And he just has a very nice presence to him. He's pretty heavy, but also pretty tall. I like how he stands next to other figures in my collection. He just looks awesome. Especially with that on-screen accuracy, it just helps boost his aura, you know? It's so awesome. And I like putting him next to the NECA 2014 6-inch figure. I think it's just awesome to see that. Can't wait for the Evolved version. I think he's going to stand the same as this guy, but that's not a problem because I don't think he had a height increase when he evolved. So regardless, I still like the height. So I love the figure. I love the scale. And yeah, I love how he stands next to other figures in my collection. So here I have him next to my King of the Monsters 2019 figure and the Hiya Atomic Breath GDK version. So moving this guy to the side, between these two Godzillas, you can definitely tell that this guy's not only darker, but the peaches are also a lot stronger with him, which looks fine. And as you can see, all the spines are warped here. Poor fella. That's how I got him. It's quite a shame. But there's more dry brushing going on with this guy. And like I said, this guy being a little bit looser than this guy was, it allows for some nicer posing and articulation. I like how he poses, much better than him. And yeah, so there's these two figures. I definitely like the pre-evolved version more. And then next to the Atomic Breath version, I guess it's a bit of an unfair comparison since they're going for slightly different looks, but you can see how the inspiration was taken with the grays and the peaches was added in. I think in terms of articulation, these two are the same, but I guess I like this guy a little more for the slightly tighter tail. So yeah, there's the comparison, and I will now move on to the conclusion. With Hiya having released so many figures of this design, is this figure worth picking up? I say definitely. He is by far my favorite looking one, capturing the blacks, peaches, and the grays of the Monsterverse Godzilla. From the King of the Monsters figure to the Atomic Breath version, it just looks, it's a fantastic combination with some nice grays that give him his natural look, as well as the blacks and peaches of the film. The articulation is also my favorite, as it is at its peak, allowing for some fluid and dynamic movements. He stands at a pretty good height and weight, and he looks awesome next to other Monsterverse figures. He is easily my favorite Monsterverse Godzilla figure because he just looks accurate, he moves just as great, and he's just got a nice presence that is undoubtedly strong with this figure. He stands in front of my Monsterverse shelf as the King of the Monsters. He stands strong and he stands proud. I definitely recommend picking him up if you can, because I think this is the definitive Monsterverse Godzilla figure. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.